Good morning and welcome to day 2 of my new TikTok account. If you're watching this on Insta or YT or any of the other platforms, nothing has changed for you. But I'm still going to step through what's happened here on TikTok. Also going to talk about the economic shitstorm coming our way. Oh, when I say the storm is coming, like the raindrops are falling now. Can they remove Donald Trump from power? I'll talk about that. And for Maple MAGA and the 51st Staters, a little reminder that you're not going to get what you think you're going to get. I'm going to show you what you're really going to get. And then you can decide if that's what you want. Heads up to those same people. I know you guys don't like to read, but you really should get this book and read it and prep because that's what's coming your way. First up, thank you to all the people who have supported me over the last 24 hours on all the different platforms, on Threads, on Instagram, YT, here on TikTok. It's overwhelming. I appreciate it. I mean, at this rate, this is probably the best thing that ever happened to my social media. No, but seriously, I was super dejected yesterday and all the support has raised me back up. Thank you very much. All right, the warning signs are flashing in the US, and this is going to have negative ramifications for the entire planet. Revised job numbers raise new concerns about economic slowdown. I would like to remind everybody that this slowdown is global. Doesn't matter what Pepe Le Poiliev tells you, it's not local. It's happening everywhere. And there's a data blackout coming out of the United States. I mean, everyone was already afraid that the data coming out of the US would be tainted. But with the government shutdown, there's no data to be tainted. So people are going with independent data like this from ADP. ADP says that September payrolls fell by 32,000. They were expecting an increase of 45,000, so that's a massive swing. What effect has that had on markets this morning? Well, oil and gas has gone for a shit. Well, natural gas is recovering from last week's lows when they were trying to prop up the market. It seems to have worked. It's rebounded. But that possible market manipulation that was happening last week in Brent crude doesn't seem to have paid off. Same with gasoline. There's the alleged market manipulation that was happening last week, and, well, here's this week. And people are asking questions. How do you explain a 4% growth in the US with no jobs? Because it's a bubble. It's a bubble. I'll explain again what's happening. These company valuations go up. The fashion right now is to take those stocks and use that as collateral for loans, and then taking that money that you just borrowed and reinvesting it in other companies. So there's just a giant wheel of fake money going around. That's why there's 4% growth. While at the same time, there's job losses everywhere. This bubble's going to pop. When is it going to pop? I don't know. It's been brewing for like 2 years now. Ironically, the tariffs are a good thing. Not for the Americans. For the rest of us. They've forced other countries to circumvent the United States and create new economic ties. So when this bubble pops, it'll have less of an impact on other countries than it would have normally had. All right, will Donald Trump be removed from power because he's absolutely lost it? Pritzker compares Trump to Putin, calls for invoking 25th Amendment for suggesting military use Chicago as training grounds. Here's the deal. Trump is constantly saying crazy stuff, and his mental capacity, his faculties have been put into question. There's a very high probability that they will invoke the 25th Amendment and remove him as president. I mean, aside from the myriad of poor judgment calls that have happened, he's helping war criminals. Like he's had U.S. soldiers on their hands and knees rolling out the red carpet for wanted war criminal Vladimir Putin. They're also entertaining wanted war criminal Benjamin Netanyahu. Look, here's the deal. If these two men went to any other country, those countries would arrest them. Period. That's why they don't go to the other countries. So if every other country that recognizes the International Criminal Court is willing to arrest these men, why is the U.S. not doing it? It's a bad look amongst many, many, many other bad looks. And we seem to have an unprecedented moment that people are referring to as a broken clock event. What do they mean? People on the political left and political right have had a difference of opinion. That's normal, right? But right now, across the spectrum, people are converging on one point of blame. That point of blame is Donald Trump. All right, this message is for Maple MAGA and the 51st Staters. You are not going to get what you think you're going to get. That is Gaza, and that is what you're going to get. Why do I say that? Because I read books. I read the same books the politicians read. Top of the list, The Prince by Machiavelli. First up, I know you like to listen to Danielle Smith, pictured here in the movie 300, but just know that she's spouting bullshit, and I guarantee she has not read this book. This is a picture from Oka. Do you remember that? This is the Kanasatake Resistance. This was over a golf course. What do you think the First Nations people are going to do when you try and take a province or two? Now, you might say, well, they have no way of resisting the United States, and that's true. But that doesn't mean good things for you. See, Machiavelli says that fear is better than love. And so the US would have to roll in and govern by fear. It doesn't matter if you love them. They're not going to take the chance. See, fear is more dependable than love. And it's the best way of maintaining power. So Calgary, Edmonton, it's going to look like that. Let me wrap it up with this little problem with reading this book. You have to read the whole thing, because ruling by fear has a little side effect. It creates hatred, and hatred is a problem. The leader who incurs intense hatred risks being overthrown. See what happened to Nicholas Ceausescu or Benito Mussolini. And it's starting to happen with a certain orange buffoon down south.